Welcome to the Security Brief. Each episode, we dive into the latest security articles and trends, breaking down complex topics into the clear, actionable advice you need to stay protected. Today, we're talking about a threat that might not be outside your building, but actually hiding inside your security system itself.
You know, that's a powerful idea, isn't it? The real danger coming from a system that you trust, a system you believe is protecting you, but has silently failed. You think you're safe, but in reality, you're completely exposed. And this isn't just a hypothetical. It has devastating real-world consequences. Let's look at a pretty high-profile heist in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, that's how much was stolen. $2.7 million in luxury watches and jewelry, just gone in minutes. So how on earth could this happen at a high-end store that you know had a security system? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So here's the kicker. The thieves in that 2022 heist, they were able to disable key alarms. Why? Well, because the system was likely outdated or hadn't been properly tested. This created the absolute perfect opportunity for them. The business owners had this sense of security, but it was just a dangerous illusion. And this right here is a really brutal truth. A broken alarm doesn't just fail to protect you. It actively misleads you into thinking you're safe. And you have to remember, criminals are smart. They often look for businesses with systems they know are weak or malfunctioning. A neglected alarm system is basically like rolling out the welcome mat.
So why do these systems fail in the first place? You know, it's hardly ever some big, dramatic event. The best way to think about your alarm system is to think of it like a car. It needs regular checkups to stay reliable. If you neglect it, small issues can quietly turn into huge, critical failures. So let's look at the most common ways these things go wrong.
Okay, these are the top 5 culprits. Now, battery failure. That is by far the most common issue. The backup battery is absolutely critical for when the power goes out, but it doesn't last forever. Then you've got faulty sensors, another huge problem. They can either drive you crazy with false alarms or, way worse, just fail to detect an actual intruder. And all these other issues, from a loose wire to a silent bell, can make your system totally useless right when you need it most.
It sounds almost too simple, right? But it's absolutely true. A single dead backup battery can completely compromise your entire multi-thousand-dollar security investment. It's such a simple, preventable issue that can open the door to a catastrophic loss. But the risk isn't just about the theft itself, and that leads us to an even bigger problem, the financial trap. For a business owner, believe it or not, the biggest shock might not even be the break-in. It's the phone call you make to your insurance company right after, only to find out you're not covered. This is the fine print that can absolutely sink a business. Your insurer sees a properly maintained alarm as a non-negotiable part of your risk management. If you can't prove your system was in perfect working order with a professional service history to back it up, they can, and they often will, reject your claim. And that leaves you holding the bag for the entire loss.
So, what does professional maintenance even mean to an insurer? Well, it means your system has to be installed and serviced by a company that's accredited by a recognized body. We're talking about groups like the NSI, the National Security Inspectorate, or the SSAIB. Having that seal of approval shows it's not just about having an alarm, it's about having one that meets really strict, verifiable industry standards. Okay, let's just break this down real quick. The first two, certification and maintenance, are exactly what we've been talking about. But look at the others. Insurers can actually check your alarm logs to see if you remembered to set the system when you left. If you forgot, they can void your coverage. Same thing goes if you change your key holders or make other system changes without telling them. Every single one of these is a potential trap. Okay, so after all that, there is some good news. Managing all this risk and staying compliant isn't as complicated as it sounds. It really all boils down to one simple, proactive strategy: professional maintenance. It's the single best way to make sure your system works, prevent those annoying false alarms, and, most importantly, keep your insurance valid. But how often do you really need it? So here's the general rule of thumb. For homes, a checkup once a year is usually fine. But for businesses, the recommendation is every 6 months. So why the difference? Well, it's because commercial properties just face higher risks. They have more valuable assets inside, and they're subject to much stricter insurance and regulatory standards. And a professional service is incredibly thorough. I mean, technicians inspect every single physical component. They test the backup batteries. They make sure the signal to the monitoring station is strong and clear. But honestly, the most important thing on this list for you, the business owner, is that last one, the detailed service report. That report is your golden ticket. It's the official proof you need to show your insurer that you've done everything right. So, what should you do right now after watching this? We've put together a checklist to help you take immediate control of your security. Think of this as your action plan.
I want you to use these questions. Call your security provider today and ask them. Their answers are going to tell you everything you need to know about whether your business is truly protected or if it just feels that way. And hey, if they can't give you clear, confident answers, it might be time to find a provider who can. At the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. An alarm system isn't a one-and-done purchase. It's an ongoing commitment to your security. Without that regular professional service, even the most advanced system in the world is just an expensive box on the wall, basically waiting to fail you. Thank you for watching this episode of The Security Brief. If you found this episode helpful, please like and subscribe so you don't miss our next one. And if you have a moment, leave a comment below to really help other business owners find the show. We'll see you on the next episode.